How is everybody doing? I'm what you need. You're watching my channel. If you like what you're seeing here, you can like, comment, subscribe, share this video, or donate via Western Union or MoneyGram. This video will not be long in this case. All right, guys? Now, this is a live feed, a live stream, so feel free to leave your comments in the chat section. Decision making. Aki, shout out to Aki Sports TV. Shout out to Aki. Split decision. Decision making. It's one thing to have skills in boxing. It's another thing to know when to use what skills for what you need to accomplish. Sugar Ray Robinson was a skilled fighter, versed in the fundamentals of boxing. But yet, when he was fighting at light heavyweight against Joey Maxim, he made some poor decisions. He was winning the fight in terms of points and seemingly beating on Joey Maxim. You know, Joey Maxim was using his defense and clinching up and stuff like that. So he was losing the war. He expended a lot of energy, did some unnecessary footwork, unnecessary movements, and as a result, that cost him the fight. A lot of people like to say he died. He lost because he was heat exhausted. Well, whose fault is that? How come Joey Maxim wasn't heat exhausted? The referee was heat exhausted because the referee was moving around a little too much as well. Watch the commentary on the fight. The smarter guy in that ring that day was not the more skilled guy. It was the bigger guy, Joey Maxim. Conserved his energy, worked Sugar Ray Robinson into clinches, so when Sugar Ray Robinson should have been resting, he was still working. Was able to use his weight against Sugar Ray Robinson, wear him down. The conditions did not help Sugar Ray Robinson's favor. And Sugar Ray Robinson fizzled out. Decision making. What would be the best plan if you're facing a fighter who's bigger than you, who's not on your skill level, but the conditions are such that you need to conserve energy as much as possible? Mayweather versus Carlos Baldomir. Carlos Baldomir was not as skilled as Floyd Mayweather. He was awkward, but he was not as skilled. But Mayweather didn't waste a whole set of unnecessary energy against Carlos Baldomir. No. He made a miss, and then he made him pay. He pivoted around him with sharp, short pivots. He wasn't trying to excessively move around the ring. He wasn't trying to look dominant by beating on him, using strength and force, which a lot of smaller fighters are guilty of doing when they're facing a bigger fighter. They think this is a battle of strength and battle of will. But when there's a guy much bigger than you, Mayweather and Pernell Whitaker showed you, you don't try to go toe-to-toe or try to beat them down. That's stupid. Even if you're pivoting around them, you try to beat them down. You're trying to contain them, control them, punish them if you can, slowly wear them down, but do it as efficiently as possible. You're not trying to waste a whole set of energy. Decision making. Sugar Ray Leonard versus Roberto Duran. Sugar Ray Leonard foolishly got conned into playing into Roberto Duran's game and fighting Roberto Duran's fight. He could have easily outboxed Roberto Duran, but he let Roberto Duran get to his head, and he decided he was going to fight him. Decision making. Mayweather versus Marcos Maidana. Maidana brought the heat, but Mayweather weathered the storm, and he went back to boxing. And he boxed Roberto. Marcos Maidana. Got a close decision win over him. But in so doing, he kept his composure throughout that fight, and he broke him down slowly, and Maidana started to slow down as the rounds went on. The point behind this is the choices you make in that ring determine whether you win a fight or lose a fight, no matter how skilled you are. The game plan you have going into a fight, if it's good, you stick to it. You stick to the game plan, no matter what. When Errol Spence said that he could beat Floyd Mayweather, he believes he would beat Floyd Mayweather if he faced him, it's because he would come in with a game plan. His game plan would be to jab him and go to the body. It's a good game plan. And if he's consistent and he can hold fast to that game plan, he could win. A lot of people say, oh, he can't beat Floyd. Well, I'll put it this way. I'm not saying he beats Floyd Mayweather, but I'm saying if he can be consistent with the game plan that he has a chance of beating him. The question is, can he be consistent in that game plan? Can he go to the body religiously? Will those opportunities present themselves? How much of those opportunities will present themselves? Can he, with a jab, get Floyd to do what he wants him to do? Or will Floyd adapt and do something else and cause him to put away his jab eventually? We don't know. So, but if he can be consistent and get that jab in and go to the body and get the body work, he surely could win the fight. I'm not saying he would. I'm just saying if he could stick with the game plan. That's not easy to do, ladies and gentlemen. It's not easy to stick to a game plan. Mayweather versus Zab Judah. After Zab Judah hit Mayweather in the balls, and now uproar happened, Mayweather wanted to go in there and finish Zab Judah. Leonard and his cut man, I forgot what his name is, the late, great cut man, I can't remember his name. I think he was a cut man for Roberto Duran as well. Anyway, they said no, stick to game plan, box him. And he boxed him, and he won. Decision making. Lifted One says Spence is good. But Mayweather could do more in the ring than Spence. I agree. We know that. But the question is, all I'm saying is, Lifted One, shout out to you, by the way, I'm saying that Spence will have to stick to his game plan. Because that game plan could beat Floyd Mayweather, could beat any fighter. Use the jab consistently and go to the body. These are formulas to beat any fighter. The problem is, could he execute those things? That's all I'm saying. Okay? What he said there is absolutely incontrovertibly correct. I'm not saying no. That's how you beat a fighter. But would he be able to sustain that jab? When he's countered, will he put the jab into his pocket? When he throws the jab and misses, and Canelo just recently talked about that when he was commenting on the Austin trial fight. The worst thing in the world a fighter could do, other than get punched that saps them, is throw a punch and miss. Because all that energy is expended beyond. When you throw a punch and it hits the target, you know, you're not hyperextending yourself. But when you punch and you miss, you hyperextend. And it takes a lot more energy out of you than if you hit. All of these things people don't think about. How do you wear down a fighter? Make them miss as well. And then on top of that, after they're missed, because you remember, you exhale as you punch, right? Or right? Now, just imagine you exhaled on the punch and then you get a punch in your rib cage, in your spleen, right after you finish throwing that jab. You exhale on the jab, and then he hits you with a punch, boom. You know what happens? If that body shot is placed very, very well and you're not in the optimal conditioning, you know, like Keith Thurman was, if you're not, it's going to drop you, because guess what? You exhale all that air, you get hit on the muscle, you spasm out, and that muscle tightens even more. And then you're down, and they're counting you out. Oscar De La Hoya versus Bernard Hopkins. Oscar threw a right hand. Hopkins caught him perfectly on the liver, in the muscle area there. That just constricted on impact. Oscar was in agony. Okay? It's not about how hard you punch, it's how well you place the punch and the timing. If somebody's hyperextending because they missed, and you catch them at that very moment that they missed, could be a lot of problems. So it's not just about throwing a jab. Then again, there are several other ways. How do you tire out a fighter that's bigger and stronger than you? How do you tire them out? You mentally frustrate them. You make them miss by inches. You don't make them miss by miles. If you make them miss by miles, it don't take much pressure off of them. They'll just keep on going, because they're what's the word I'm looking for? It gives them incentive to keep going, to catch you, because they want to catch you. They're bigger than you. You got to make them miss by about this much every single time. And it mentally messes with their minds. And you're fatiguing them, because every time they try, they miss just about this much. Mayweather talked about it. Now, the question is, of course, he will have to know how he's doing it in stages. He already acknowledged and admit that Floyd is a guy that's mentally strong. But what Errol doesn't get is that the conditioning that Mayweather had was way beyond his condition, right? Errol balloons up between fights, then comes back down. Mayweather never did that. So who's going to outlast who in a fight? See, these are facts. Now, A-Key Sports TV said something that's really powerful. A-Key, like myself, believes that Mayweather would beat Sugar Ray Leonard. And I believe he would have beaten Sugar Ray Robinson as well. And the reason I give is very simple. I said that Sugar Ray Leonard, while he's a great fighter, mentally, Mayweather's on another level to Sugar Ray Leonard. I explained that Sugar Ray Leonard worked somewhat off of instinct when he was fighting guys. Mayweather's always intentional in what he's doing. He has a certain level of instinct in a way. But Mayweather was never, he was so intentional. He would set up a fighter for many rounds after, okay? But he was so intentional that Mayweather cognitively was aware of everything he was doing in that ring. Not only everything he's doing in that ring, but everything that's happening outside of the ringside, the commentators who are commentating on the fight, the lighting, the time, the referee, the judges, the fans. He can hear everything, okay? As Andre Roberto said, he's mentally aware of everything going on. He's very much aware. His awareness is ridiculous. And the reason I say this is because a lot of people think that what Mayweather does, he can't teach anybody because it's instinctual. I heard Teddy Atlas say nonsense like that. No. This man will break down exactly what he's doing. And he'll tell you while he's fighting. And he'll tell you he assesses fighters while he's fighting them. He can tell you their strengths. He can tell you their weaknesses. He literally can tell you, articulate it to you as he's fighting them. I remember once the young pretty boy Floyd, when they asked him about facing Corey Spinks, he literally outlined the flaw of Corey Spinks. He explained to Eric why Corey Spinks would be beaten by him. Okay? And this is the young Floyd Bailey, very honest guy when he was with pretty boy Floyd. And he showed what Corey Spinks continually does in every single fight. and why Corey Spinks would not be able to beat him, because he would exploit that. So Mayweather's not that kind of dude that is just instinctually trying to figure you out. No, he's very much in the now. He's very much aware of what he's doing or what he needs to do to beat a fighter. All right. Mayweather's been boxing for a very, very long time. So when people talk about Mayweather, it's interesting. But A-Key Sports TV, A-Key said something that was really powerful. A-Key said this. I never heard this reasoning before, but it's very interesting. He said Sugar Ray Leonard went through 4 divisions. In his peak division, which was 168, the 4th division, could you imagine Sugar Ray Leonard beating a lot of those bona fide 168 pounders? Do you think that Sugar Ray Leonard could beat an Andre Ward at 168? And the answer is, of course, absolutely not. Because Sugar Ray Leonard wasn't really a 168 pounder, right? Yeah, Corey Spinks versus Mayweather. He would have beaten Corey Spinks. He said the fundamental flaw, and this is even before he even was at welterweight. He was a super featherweight at the time, I think, or a lightweight. I can't remember which one. And he explained how Corey Spinks would easily be beaten. There's actually footage on it out there on YouTube. Going back to what I was saying. So, yeah, Ray Leonard in his 4th division wasn't going to beat everybody. Mayweather spent 10 years in his 4th division, which was welterweight, beating the top level welterweights. All right. Now, who were the top 168 pounders in Leonard's time? Wasn't Thomas Hearns. He only fought, I think, Duran. He only fought Donnie Lalonde, and then he came back and fought the 2 other 3 kings, which I think was Roberto Duran and Thomas Hearns. That's about it. It would have been an entertaining boxing match like Chop Corley. Who, Corey Spinks versus Mayweather? Nah. Corey Spinks was a southpaw, but Mayweather explained his flaw. He didn't get his defense back into position after he threw certain shots. It'd have been 99. Mayweather might have knocked him out, because at that time he was Pretty Boy Floyd. Yeah, he might have knocked him out. He was gonna knock out Zab Judah too. Remember? No, Corey Spinks, that was not gonna be like a DeMarcus Chop Corley. Corley was a bad motherfucker. And remember, Zab Judah knocked out Corey Spinks because of that same flaw. Yeah, Corey Spinks didn't get his hands back into position, his defense into position. He would throw, I think it's the jab. He would throw the jab and keep the jab out there too long. And Mayweather say that's shark food for me. I'm gonna eat that up, because I'm gonna counter over the jab like a madman. You saw what he did to Philip Bendu. Was it his jab or his left hand? I can't remember which one. But he would have demolished Corey Spinks. I think they were going to fight at, I can't remember when the fight was. I don't know if it was before the Zab Judah fight or when Corey Spinks was at super welterweight. I can't remember which one. But nah, Corey Spinks, he was kind of defensively, he wasn't tight. Mayweather would have taken advantage of that, probably stopped him. Yeah, Corey Spinks would leave his hand out there too long. He'd get countered like a motherfucker. He'd get knocked out. Good fighter though. Yeah, because Ndu also left his jab out there too long. He left his jab out there too long. So Floyd countered over that jab every day, all day. All right, going back to what I was saying. So, yeah, Sugar Ray Leonard. Floyd campaigned at welterweight and fought all the best welterweights in the world and beat all of them. I'm talking about the very best welterweights in the world, the #1 guys, the lineal champions, that kind of thing. And you look at it, all the welterweights he faced, welterweights, they were in the top, I believe they were in the top 3 until Marcos Maidana. He was in the top 6. He performed so well, and he was world champion as well. You know, Floyd fought him. And then Andre Berto wasn't anything. So Berto was kind of like the downswing of the creme de la creme. He was like the guy that was out of the puzzle. You know, he was doing well, you know, but he had some good fights coming that he finally had. But he wasn't the top guys, right? You know, I mean, Pacquiao was the top dog. You know what I mean? You had Pacquiao, you had Canelo was the top super welterweight, right? Robert Guerrero was no top nothing. He was in the top 3, yeah, but you know. But then you had Victor Ortiz, who was in top 3, but he was also world champion. But then you had Shane Mosley, who was the number 1 welterweight in the world, the top welterweight in the world at the time. And you have Marquez was not a welterweight, so at the time. Hatton was a welterweight, was the WBA welterweight champion. He gave up that belt, and Cotto got the belt. But Hatton was a top, not welterweight. He was the top super lightweight, right? And Oscar, he wasn't a welterweight either. He was super welterweight. He wasn't one of the top super welterweights either. I think the top super welterweight at the time was either Mosley or was it what was it? Vernon Forrest? Was it Mosley? Vernon Forrest? One of them. It's either Vernon Forrest, Winky Wright, or Mosley. I think Oscar was the top third. He was the third best welterweight. Anyway, so yeah. So that just in and of itself. Let's say Mayweather was facing Sugar Ray Leonard at Sugar Ray Leonard's super middleweight status, right? Leonard's not a super middleweight. Floyd wasn't a super welterweight. It wasn't a welterweight. Who would have done better? Who would have won? Floyd, because Floyd showed in his 4th division how he could campaign so well and do so well in his 4th division. It's a force to reckon with, and Floyd is not a welterweight. Floyd, Pacquiao, and Marquez are not welterweights. All right? If they're welterweights, they're very small welterweights. Okay? But Hearns, Duran, and Leonard, they're big welterweights. Right? They're like Kell Brook and Errol Spence and Sean Porter. Okay? They're going to go on to higher weight classes for sure. And still, you know, I got Mayweather beating Sugar Ray Leonard. I got him beating Sugar Ray Leonard. Look at the footwork of Sugar Ray Leonard. Look at his feet. And look at the footwork of Floyd Mayweather. Look at his feet. Look at the big difference between how those guys... If Floyd is in front of you, he's constantly shifting weight, like Pacquiao. Pacquiao does the same thing. He constantly shifts weight from one foot to the next. He makes these very small steps. And then... You know, Sugar Ray Leonard does do pull counters, but Floyd would hit you with a pull counter and then he'll just roll under you to the side. You know what I'm saying? Or Sugar Ray Leonard more dip. He wouldn't roll under, he would dip. Floyd would hit you with a lead right, roll under. Hit you with an uppercut, roll under. You know, hit you with a jab and a jab off a pivot and sort of skip back. I can't explain it otherwise. You know, the way how he hit you with a probing jab and skip back is just sick. How he finds that space and then you just hear him, and that's it. You know, Zab Judah had the same thing. Foot quickness. You know, quick feet, quick hands. You know, he didn't shift weight as much because he, you know, what people don't understand. Why I said that. I was just talking to a guy. I think the guy who does Mosley boxing. And I was trying to explain to him what flat-footedness is, because obviously he don't know what flat-footedness is. Canelo's flat-footed. Danny Garcia's flat-footed. You know? He don't dispute that. But when I tell him that Joe Louis is flat-footed, when I tell him that Sam Langford's flat-footed, because I've seen the footage of them. I can put up the footage right now. You know, he had a problem with that. He was like, no, man, they cut off the ring and, you know, they inching and stuff. And I'm like, that had nothing to do with not being flat-footed. That has nothing to do with it. Flat-footed means you're not on the balls of your feet all the way through the fight. Right? and your feet are not fast. They're not quick. So you have to use pivots. Okay. When you look at Joe Louis didn't move that much. Now they say he was economical and all of that. And that might be so, right? With conserving energy, but that don't mean you are light-footed. You're not light-footed. He didn't stay on the balls of his toes and pivot around the ring and box off the back foot. He didn't do that kind of stuff. Or front foot. He didn't do those things. But Henry Armstrong, he was light-footed. You can see him skipping the position. He move around on the balls of his feet. And he shift weight from one side to the next. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if you don't know what flat-footedness is, we all know Joe Louis was outboxed by Jersey Joe Walker, right? Billy Conn ran circles around him, right? Billy Conn only got stopped in the 13th round of their first bout because Billy Conn decided for some reason that he gonna just sit in the pocket now and trade with Joe Louis, which was the dumbest ass thing I've ever heard. He suddenly grew balls, thought that Joe Louis was so confused and stuff that he could just go bang out with him. That's how he got knocked the fuck out. But if he had just boxed Joe Louis, he would have boxed him 15-round victory. Easy work. He got cocky. He abandoned the game plan, and he did the stupidest thing ever, and he got knocked the fuck out for it. Jersey Joe Walker in the first fight boxed a very good fight. Dropped Joe Louis twice. I think Joe Louis dropped him late in the fight, but he got back up. I thought he won the fight against Joe Louis, but they gave Joe Louis the decision. The crowd booed. In the rematch, Jersey Joe Walker was boxing him really good, and then he decided, I'm going to bang with this motherfucker. And that was stupid as hell, but he did it, and he got knocked the fuck out in the 8th round, okay? Joe Louis is not a dude, all right, that doesn't have flat feet. You can outbox that dude. Because if you have flat feet, it means you're going to always be a step behind a guy who's on the balls of his feet, who's ready to move, ready to do this, ready to dart in and out boxing, okay? So I explained to Mr. Mosley, Sam Langford cannot beat Floyd Mayweather. Yes, he's explosive, like Canelo's explosive. Canelo's an explosive fighter. He can box a little bit off the back foot, you know. We saw it against Golovkin. But generally speaking, Canelo's a flat-footed fighter. His feet are literally on the ground. Yeah, his feet look like, he's on the balls of feet, but he's mostly flat-footed. He don't have quick feet. He does not have quick feet. He really doesn't. He's explosive. They're not quick feet. He has good upper body movement, which causes people to miss him. But he doesn't have the quickest feet in the world. He just doesn't. Jamal Charlo has quick feet. Demetrius Andrade has quick feet. Okay? They're explosive too. Canelo's explosive. You know what I mean? So I think that a lot of people don't understand boxing. Then this guy would tell me that he didn't head control Ricky Hatton. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's how he beat Ricky Hatton. Does he even know what head control is? Do you know what using a forearm to keep your opponent from throwing a punch from you because he's off balance, off center? Do you know what it is to body check somebody? Do these motherfuckers even understand boxing? And they come to talk to me, and I'm like, dude, at least understand the terms. Do you know what flat-footed means? Do you know what head control means? Do you know what fucking body check means? You can't be disagreeing with me and you don't even know what the fuck those things mean. That's the thing I never get about these guys. Like, these dudes talk. Like I tell you, they talk out their ass. They don't even know the definition of this shit. I be talking to them and it's like I'm talking Greek. Right? And they're supposed to be a boxing channel. How the fuck you gonna be a boxing channel? You don't know what head control is. You don't know what body checking is. Shit. So if I start talking terms and you don't understand, you're just gonna disagree with me because you don't understand it? Telling me how he watched so many times Sam Langford versus some of the heavyweights, and I'm like, motherfucker, listen, dude, you watch so much and you don't know what the hell it means to head control and body check. Then what the hell you watching? You don't even know what you're watching. You don't even know what flat-footed means. You know what I mean? Anyways, back to what I'm saying. We're 30 minutes in. I'm gonna wrap this up. So, yeah, decision making. So you can have all the skill in the world, aka Zab Judah had a lot of skill, a lot of ability. He's quicker than Floyd, faster than Floyd, had more power than Floyd. Yet Floyd's walking his ass down. Why? Because Zab Judah didn't always make the best decisions. And he looked to stop a fighter, get him out of there, and he didn't keep his composure. So he'd get beat down. I'll give you a case where, I mean, it happens to all boxers. I mean, even the best of us get dropped, right? Or the best of us get carried across the corner. Best boxers. There are two boxers I know who keep their composure in the corner really nice. That's Floyd and Canelo. And these two guys can fight off the ropes any day of the week. Colonel Whitaker used to showboat. He don't necessarily keep his composure on the ropes. He showboat. He's a showman. But I see Tevin Farmer do some stuff too. He looked pretty good off the ropes. But Mayweather, Canelo keep their composure off the ropes. I mean, they could fight there all day if they wanted to. They could just stay on the ropes and fight. You know what I'm saying? There are very few fighters that can do that. Right? Very few fighters. Sugar Leonard couldn't do it. Jerry Robinson couldn't do it. Alright? They can spend all day on the ropes and the guy's wailing away at them. They just couldn't do it. Right? Now, that's a skill set. Right? I already talked about Mayweather rolling under off of his punches. Come from the Cuban school of boxing. Mayweather will count you with the Cuban. I showed all of this in my post, so you can always go look at my post. Cuban school of boxing again. He could throw what's called a hook jab. Now you know about the jab that turns into a hook, but he could also do a hooking action where he's hooking around your jab. He's hooking around your jab and then popping the jab on you. Okay, that's called a hook jab. All right, he could pull and hook jab. Sugar Ray Leonard ain't no shit about that. He don't know how to pull a hook jab. He knew about the counter jab. All right, but he don't know about that shit. Split second timing. Okay. I mean, I showed you guys how boxing evolved as a sport with Saul Mambe, right? When he faced Buddy McGirt, totally different story. Most fighters, they come down center line, you know, coming at you straight. They're not cutting no angles to come at you. They're coming off an angle and leaving off an angle. You know, they settle down and they're facing one another mono and mono. You know, and that sort of stuff, you know. The higher level of boxing, you may think he's mono and mono, he's not. You think he's just standing in front of you, he's not. It's the illusion. It's not true. All of these things, man. Let me tell you a couple more decision-making things, and I'm gonna wrap this up, okay? When you think of the choices Mayweather made to box Pacquiao, he started off making Pacquiao aware of his power. He lit him up with a counter. Caught him again with a second counter in round one. Just to let him know you can't just march through here and there. I'm gonna put some fire on you. And then after that, he dictated the fight. And he boxed Pacquiao on the outside. Now, other fighters who might even be able to box Pacquiao would make foolish decisions and decide to bang it out with Pacquiao. Take, for instance, Keith Thurman. He tried to bang it out with Pacquiao. And we see how that turned out. Pacquiao turned it out and winning and dropping his ass, right? Adrian Broner chose to be hyper defensive on Pacquiao. He won't counter it enough. And he got hurt in that fight. Decision making. Okay? Decision making. So I say all of this just to let you guys know that in boxing, it's more than just you throw one, I throw one. I'm gonna engage with you. I'm gonna fight to the very end. You know. Thurman ended up being all talk. Yeah, he ended up being all talk. He was talking about, I remember Thurman chirping away about Mayweather ducking him. Better not duck me, son. He's talking away. Then he faced Louis Collazo, and Louis Collazo hit him with a buddy punch. He almost went down with that buddy punch. They started running all around the ring. He did stop Louis Collazo with cuts, but I mean, come on now. You know what I mean? Then he faces Josecito Lopez, misjudges distance, and gets bopped upside the head. And then after that, he faces Manny Pacquiao, and Manny Pacquiao almost dropped his ass. Had to pull out the mouth guard to suck in some air after that buddy punch. Plus, he dropped his ass. I mean, come on now. You know, this is the Pacquiao that Mayweather easily beat. Everybody's like, oh yeah, Pacquiao ain't nothing, man. Then he turns out to beat Keith Thurman. Makes Adrian Broner do the skanky leg. You know what I'm saying? He caught him on the ropes. Adrian Broner trying to play Mayweather on the ropes. He hit him a shot. He hit him up. I think it was a 6-punch combination. Adrian Broner doing the skanky leg, and he had to cling on for dear life. These guys think they know. They think what Mayweather do is easy, you know. Everybody, Pacquiao was old and stuff with Mayweather. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Thurman talked about T-Rex arms and how, what's the kid's name? From Australia, I think it is. Australia, the kid from Australia, man, who beat Pacquiao. You know, he said he's gonna do what the kid from Australia did. He didn't do that. Got busted nose. Got dropped. He got hit with a body punch, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not saying he lost the fight. In my book, I thought he won by a round or so. But it was never gonna give him that fight. Not after you get dropped and you get hit with that body punch. Jeff Horn, that's the dude, yeah. Jeff Horn. And Jeff Horn did beat Pacquiao. I'm going to give you that. It was a rough, ugly-ass fight, but he did beat Pacquiao, right? But he also got beat the fuck up in round 9. Pacquiao did him in round 9. When Pacquiao got some room and teed off on his ass. Ooh. Pacquiao. And I showed how Pacquiao tried to do the same trick that Floyd did on him, and Floyd was ready for that. You don't try to do the same trick that the guy who does the trick very well does. Man, you're gonna get countered. Anyways, I think a lot of people thought that a lot of people are disappointed that Floyd beat Pacquiao. I was laughing. For me, it was a whole joke. Floyd told you it was going to be that kind of fight. He told you he was going to beat him easy. Paulie told you he was going to beat him easy. And then all these people was like, Pacquiao. I'm like, all right, Pacquiao. So he beat him easy. Easy. One of his easier looking fights. Pacquiao didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And Pacquiao, at the end of the fight, was a horrible sportsman. He didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing. I. Come on, man. Come on, have some class at least. Or do like Cotto and just walk off. You know what I'm saying? But, oh, man, that was so classless. He didn't give Floyd the credit he deserved. After Floyd praised him, talk about he was a great champion and blah, 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 blah. Pacquiao turns around and says the dumbest ass shit I ever heard. You know what I'm saying? Then he comes up with the arm excuse after the fight, after the post-fight. He comes back holding his arm, Barbarian talking shit about his arm. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? You gonna take away from the other fighter? You gonna take away from their win? You know? You gonna try and bring controversy to the table? Man, that's low as fuck, man. I always said Barbarian bad for boxing. I meant it to this day. Yeah, but all I'm saying is that, he beat Pacquiao. Then everybody was all salty as fuck. He's not TBE. He's not the best ever. I heard Sugar Ray Leonard talking about he's not TBE. Oh yeah, go get in the ring with Pacquiao then. Get your fucking ass and get your ass beat up by Pacquiao. You know you'll get your ass beat by Pacquiao. Pacquiao that beats you every day of the week. You got shoe shine. He don't do shoe shine. When he hit you with a 3-4, he hit you a 3-4 punt combination piece. Each piece is hard. Get in the fucking ring with Pacquiao then. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to Sugar Ray Leonard, but come on, man. Talking about this fight was boring and Floyd's not the greatest. Motherfucker, you couldn't do better. You couldn't do better. Otherwise, you would have faced Aaron Pryor in his time. You know? So I don't want to hear Sugar Ray Leonard. Like this motherfucker be talking about, oh, that was disgraceful. And shut the fuck up, man. Shut the fuck up. You taking jabs at Floyd. And you know what's the thing? Floyd still allowed Sugar Ray Leonard to give him the award at the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame Awards, because he liked Sugar Ray Leonard. That was one of his heroes. You know what I'm saying? And Sugar Ray Leonard should know better. Yeah, okay, so you think you could have beaten Floyd. Cool. Sugar Ray Leonard said, my brother-in-law don't think I could beat Floyd. He said Floyd would whoop my ass. Which he would. And you wouldn't get an ass whipping. You would get it with schooling. You would get schooled. I don't think you whoop your ass necessarily. But you would get schooled in boxing. And all those people with Sugar Ray Leonard fans, I hear you guys, but he ain't doing shit to Floyd. He would get schooled. he would throw all those shoe shine and just be hitting air. All day. Pernell Whitaker would make Sugar Ray Leonard look stupid. Pernell would be making all these faces while Sugar Ray Leonard be fishing for him. He'd get gunshot. You know what I'm saying? All those combinations. Come on, man. You know what I mean? You'd be swinging for the fences. And just hitting air. SRR would be on his bicycle. Yeah, riding out the ring, losing with a big L. He would lose. They're like, this would be a 50-50 fight. I like A. Key said, that ain't gonna be no damn 50-50 fight. It's not gonna be. You know, you gotta understand, Floyd fought bigger fighters than him and didn't get dropped by them. He didn't get dropped by them. Guys outweighing him by 16, 15, 19 pounds. And he's not getting dropped by them. They're not even dropping him. You know what I'm saying? They can't even drop his ass. And Leonard gets dropped by Donnie Lalonde. He get dropped twice by Thomas the Hitman Hearns. Oh, but Hearns was so much bigger. What the fuck that mean? So these guys weren't bigger than Floyd? They weren't punchers? I mean, come on, man. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Leonard's not a good boxer. I don't think Leonard would go on his bicycles against Floyd because he would assume, like he did with Duran, that Floyd is a smaller boxer. He would try to use his range. He would try to use his jab. He had a decent jab. That only works for so long. He would have to make another adjustment. In the meantime, Floyd makes adjustments on the fucking fly. Like, instantaneously. Like I told you, this guy's so aware of everything. You know, he's so aware. I remember Roy Jones Jr. said, he got it under control. You're not distracting him, Jim Lampley. He got this under control. Roy Jones Jr., another bad boy. Serpentine. They only attack you when you don't expect it. They're not going to try and attack. They're not wasting punches. They're not just going to... They attack you when you least expect it. Floyd told you that as a pretty boy Floyd. He said, I always attack people when they don't expect me to attack them. You know, that's the whole game plan. You know, that was what Roy Jones Jr. was. Even to this day, old-ass Roy Jones Jr., look how he punches when he's punching to the ring. It's an awkward movement he gives you, almost like a duck-like movement. Really quick, small steps, always moving, small steps. Even if Floyd's standing in front of you, you know, he can do like this, and then he can just, all of that's feints. That's what I try to tell people. They don't understand fucking Floyd. Floyd moves with fainting. He naturally faints. He naturally faints. So you can't catch his rhythm. You can't catch his tempo. Even when you see, like, okay, I don't know if you remember this. When Pacquiao got Floyd against the ropes in the 12th round, right? Floyd dip, then he jerked back, and he's timing Pacquiao. He's watching Pacquiao's hands as Pacquiao's swinging his hands, and he's moving his body in rhythm with the fucking hands. So when Pacquiao actually offloads his 8-punch combination, what did he hit? Nothing. He hit nothing. Then, after he offloaded his load, Floyd counters him with a right hand and grins. And then starts pot-shotting him around the ring and laughing. And Pacquiao's about to throw a punch. Bop! That shit is so like a video game, and it's funny as fuck. And Floyd just grinning at him. You can't even get a momentum on Floyd. You know what I'm saying? That's why they end up cramping themselves, because Floyd just got this awkward rhythm to him. Like Roy and Floyd got this weird ass rhythm with their feet. Because even though Floyd's very long, he moves with these small little steps. Little steps, okay? And he changes range all the time. It's so fucking difficult for me to even think of beating him. You know, because he changes range. And on top of that, because all of those are little adjustments, he'll adjust to find out where your range is at. See, he gets it perfect. Your best bet of beating Floyd is getting him sometime in the early parts of a fight. You surprise him. Because once he gets a glimpse of what you do, either the first time you do it or the second time you do it, and he gets a hold on that shit, he gonna adjust to that. So you have one shot at getting him out of there, and it's pretty much early in a fight. Mosley had his time, he had his shot. Zab Judah had his time, he had his shot. Who else had it early? Somebody else had him in trouble early. Hatton had him in trouble early with the leaping fucking jab. Hatton does some crazy ass shit I've never seen before. You ever seen I've seen a leaping spear jab. Mike Tyson did it, Floyd did it. But Hatton hit you with a leaping jab, like a fucking jab that comes from the hip straight up, but it's not a spear jab. It's not off an angle. It's crazy. I've never seen that before. Hatton, the only guy I've seen ever do something like that. He do some awkward shit. You know, Hatton he'll catch you with a left hook. I mean, but I think it's because he takes so much risk as well. He catch you with a left hook off a weird fucking angle. You don't expect him to hit you, and he hits you. That's how he knocked out Carlos Mauser. Fucking, I mean, the hook came from God knows where. It was a big fucking hook, and he looped it, and I thought the angle was just wrong. And he clipped Mauser. Mauser didn't expect that shit, so he just got knocked the fuck out immediately. There was no coming back. He was just drunk. He just went, blap, hit the ground. Mauser didn't expect that from that angle. Hatton do some awkward shit. He do some strange shit, man. Hatton was something. Yeah, but Floyd controlled him. He controlled him. He prevented him from doing certain shots physically. His Hatton would have run him over. Definitely would have run him over. Hatton was the bigger dude. You know? That's why Floyd said after the fight, Hatton came to fight. That motherfucker came to fight. Pacquiao was lucky he fought an old Floyd. Yeah. Don't let them fool you. They punking Floyd now, but everybody was afraid of Floyd. You know what I'm saying? You know, Marquez, when he fought Floyd, was fortunate he didn't get stopped. Everybody was just hoping that he would make it to the final bell. People breathed a sigh of relief. It was like, yeah, great champion Marquez, man. He shouldn't be treated like this. Oh my God. And I think after the Marquez fight, I think that Floyd wanted Pacquiao, right? And Mosley came in and just fucking up everything. And Floyd was like, hey, do another time. Floyd didn't even get to say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Mosley just came out of nowhere. And stupid ass Max Kellerman was just like an idiot, you know, just standing there. And Mosley said, you know what, let's fight, man, Floyd. And like Floyd's like, hey, dude, you got your time. You get your time. You know, because Floyd really wanted to call out Pacquiao. He never even got to call out Pacquiao. I think Max Kellerman did mention Pacquiao, and Floyd was like, chill your roll. We get to Pacquiao in a minute. But no, first, I just want to fight, so God damn it, let's talk about that. You know, Floyd was trying to get it, you know, his shine. He was trying to do one thing at a time. Obviously, he went and he tried to make the fight with Pacquiao. That fell truly foremost. But yeah, anyway, my point is that the way how he handled Marquez, did anybody even think that Pacquiao was really going to beat him in 2010? Motherfucker, listen, he dropped Marquez. And he beat Marquez so easily. In fact, at a certain point in time, he was beating Marquez so bad, we didn't know if Marquez was going to make it out of the fucking fight, right? Right? But he made it out. He's a tough motherfucker. He made it out, okay? And by the way, just for the record, Marquez came in 148 pounds on fight night. Mayweather, we assumed it was somewhere around 148 as well, maybe 149. He definitely wasn't much bigger than Marquez weight-wise. Marquez had never been to welterweight, but Marquez was trying to do what Pacquiao did, where he was never been to welterweight and beat Oscar. So Marquez was trying to do one better than Pacquiao. Pacquiao beat David Diaz at lightweight. He beat Juan Diaz at lightweight. He beat a better fighter. So Marquez always trying to better Pacquiao, right? So that's why he called out Floyd. Floyd came out of retirement, faced him. But to be honest with you, you know, Pacquiao didn't want shit to do with Floyd, man. Pacquiao was taking something, obviously. We don't know what it was. I assume it's something that helps him with his cardio. And yeah. He was beating the shit out of Marquez. It was sad. But hey, he made it to the finish line. Hooray! But Pacquiao didn't want that fight. And let me tell you the truth. Bob Arum knows who Floyd is. Bob Arum knows who Floyd is. Okay? He know who Floyd is. He know what kind of fighter Floyd Mayweather is. Right? He had a good one. He even praised him once and told him he was better than Sugar Ray Robinson, better than Sugar Ray Leonard, better than the great Muhammad Ali. He told his praise on Pretty Boy Floyd. So we know what it was, but you know, Pacquiao, man. You think Bob Arum wanted Pacquiao to face Floyd? So just imagine, if Pacquiao faced Floyd in 2010, Floyd beats Pacquiao, what would have happened to Pacquiao? All his reputation and everything. You know people would have drug him through the trash. If Floyd beat him in 2015, people was talking about he old and should retire. Man, if he had beat the shit out of Pacquiao, there would be no more Pacquiao. He'd be like a Victor Ortiz now. Right? A byword. Right? Right now, Pacquiao staying in boxing to try and surpass certain things in Floyd to sort of, to sort of rewrite the story behind Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Okay? Because he got beat. He got beat easy. That's as embarrassing as it is. All his fans were saying how, you know, all his Flomos out there and Floyd's a runner and Kentucky Fried Runner and all this shit. And now they had to eat their words. So that's why everybody talking about it's the bust of the century. You know, casual fans weren't entertained. Casual fans were entertained. A lot of casual fans were entertained by the fight. You know, a lot of casual fans were entertained by the fight. You know, and to be honest with you, I don't know how you could not be entertained. You would have stakes ahead. It's the salty ass motherfuckers who saw Pacquiao lose. That's why they say the fight was a bust and so on, because their fighter didn't win. But let it had been that their fighter won, it would have been the greatest fight ever. You know, same boring ass fight that they talking about, which is not boring. But their fighter wins? Oh, hell yeah. But it's boring when their fighter lose. Man, these motherfuckers, man, fuck them. I'm just saying. You said some couple things here. Let me see what you say here. Floyd would beat Sugar Ray Leonard on the front foot and back foot. Yeah, I can see that happening. He'll mix it up. You're correct. Because one of the things Floyd does, especially after you've thrown your load, after you've thrown all your punches, is he attacks you, especially after you have wasted a lot of shots. He wants you to waste energy, and he's looking for ways. Of course, the jab to the pit would have been a pivotal punch, and Leonard wouldn't have landed his jab to the pit as much as Floyd would have. Because Leonard, the way how Leonard throws the jab to the pit, he don't have a lot of options. He just bend over and throw the jab to the pit. Floyd have a lot of options when he throw a jab to the pit. He could throw a jab to the pit, or with the same kind of technical action, he could throw a left hook or a straight right, a lead right to the body or to the head, a shotgun jab. He could go down low and shotgun jab you. You know, it's just he got a lot more options in making a movement. So he can make one movement, and it could end up being several different things. You see, because he masks the punches so very well. Like if he's throwing a right hand, he could fake like he's going to throw the straight right, then turn it into a right hook or sweep the right hand. So he could sweep it, he could hook it, you know, he could throw it straight. You know, he could throw it to the body. He could feint as if he's going to go up top and they throw it to the body, you know. He could hook it to the body. I mean, that's the thing with Floyd. He do different things. People say he doesn't have great offense. I believe he has great offense because his offense is varied and very exceedingly effective. He's very accurate with his offense. Money Mayweather don't throw a lot of shots like Pretty Boy Floyd. Okay, but don't get it twisted. Inside of Money Mayweather is Pretty Boy Floyd. Pretty Boy Floyd still resides in Money Mayweather. If Money Mayweather need to throw a 6-punch combination, he could do it. The thing about it is, he don't throw a 6-punch combination like how, say, a Leonard or a Sugar Ray Robinson would, where they throw a bunch of identical shots. You know, he'll throw. I'll give you an example. He would throw, for example, a right to the body, followed by a lead right. So you have a double right there. So you might have a right hook, a lead right, okay, and then mix it up with a right to the head. So he hit you with 3 right hands, maybe hit you with a left uppercut, then he might hit you with a left hook. You know, he mixed it up. So even if it's a 6-punch combination, and he varied the rhythm, so he don't throw everything at one speed. You know, he might throw two shots, boop boop. So it looked like a double left hook followed by a right. It looked like a right, so it's like boop boop boop, right? He hit you like that. You know, it's how, like, you know, sometimes they say ba beam beam boom or ba beam beam boom. You know what I'm saying? Or boom beam beam bam. This is way how combinations like music, like jazz, you know. Bop, 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 bop. You know, you hear Floyd even say that. Boop, bop, beep, beep, boop, boop. You know, that's how they think. You see, it's kind of like a musician playing really fast piece. And he can sound it out for you. But to tell you the specific notes, specifically what he gonna do, that's where Floyd go kind of instinctual, we say. He feel it. So how he feel, how he throw that combination, how he's positioned. Now he'll tell you exactly the punches in the combination, but the point is not that. The point is, it's kind of like a feeling how he's throwing his combinations, right? And that's where they talk about instinctual, but it's not, because you can't really explain that part, why I decided to throw this combination or that combination. It just, the shots were available. I saw the setup, you know, and I went for it. You know what I'm saying? I knew what I wanted to do. Like ultimately, when you're doing a run in a song, you know where the run's supposed to end, right? And you know where you're supposed to begin. But in between, you do what you want to do. It's kind of like you know, where you improvising in a jazz piece. So he improvised in between, but he knows where he want to end. He knows where he want to begin. Something like that. And they are rehearsed things anyway, but I'm just saying. So, you know, his offense is extremely varied as well. You know, Roy also had very varied offense. Floyd and Roy have a lot in common. They have a lot in common. You know, Floyd borrowed from a lot of people, but he has a lot in common with Roy. The only pitiful thing is that Roy, his inside game wasn't that developed. You know, his inside game wasn't that developed. But it was good. He was good on the outside. He was really good on the outside and in mid-range. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think against Sugar Ray Leonard, he would mix it up. He'd walk down Sugar Ray Leonard at certain points where he could walk him down. And kind of like the yin and yang thing that Keith Thurman talks about. If Leonard took a step back, Floyd would cover that ground because he wants to stay a certain distance away from Leonard at all times, and Leonard would have the superior reach. So I could see Floyd getting to the inside of Leonard and having to duke it out with the inside of Leonard at certain points in time. Other times he would bring Leonard to him and wait for Leonard to commit to a punch, and then he'd counter him to get to the inside of Leonard. So I think those would be the two options that he would have. The other thing, of course, which Pacquiao and Mayweather do very well, is by pivoting around Leonard, he might be able to cut the distance towards Leonard. So, for example, if you're standing directly in front of a guy, the guy who jabs, you got to respect distance because his jab is what's separating you from him, and you're standing directly in front of him. But if you're standing off to an angle, off to the side of him, or you get yourself in position to be off to the side of him, then you got a shorter distance to get to him before he gets to you. So the key here is to find the foot positioning to be able to get yourself at an angle where you cut a path to him that's off an angle. And that's the trick to why Floyd is able to fight guys taller than him or with longer reach than him, is because he gets off to an angle. He slips a punch, yes, but he's off to an angle where he can get direct access to the person, and they don't realize they're open to him, you know. And that's how Pacquiao do it too, because Pacquiao always has a reach disadvantage. But like with Keith Thurman, how he dropped Keith Thurman, he came off an angle on Keith Thurman and cut through to him. Keith Thurman didn't realize it was that close to him. And so Keith Thurman's shocked that Pacquiao got to him, you know, but it's not, Pacquiao wasn't directly in front of him when he decided to make up the ground in the distance. It wasn't directly in front of him. And that's the little tricks of the trade, you know. So that would be how Floyd would have to beat Sugar Ray Leonard. But mostly you want to tire out Sugar Ray Leonard. And Sugar Ray Leonard was a well-conditioned guy, okay? You saw it in the 15 rounders. He was well-conditioned. But you keep missing shots and getting hit to the body, and it's going to take energy from you. It's going to sap you. And he would get that much slower because he was faster. His hands were faster than Floyd's hands. His feet were not faster than Floyd's feet, but his hands were faster than Floyd's hands. And it would get Floyd that much more advantage, because if he could get Leonard just a fraction tired, that's all you need. You know, that's all you need really against a guy like that. So making him miss is one of the first things you need to do. By about this much. You want to make him miss about this much. You make him pay for missing. And then sometimes you make yourself very elusive and very difficult. Other times when he's trying to suck up air and get a second win back, you want to be aggressively coming to him because you want to rush him so that he can't recoup, you know. So that's the strategy. That would be the game plan, you know. Because if he's faster than you, like Zab was faster than Floyd, he's going to catch you. Initially, in the beginning, you're going to have to get used and adjust to his speed. Once you get past his speed, now the game plan. Constantly try to work the body, slow him down. Constantly try to make yourself a small target. So he's throwing, he's missing. You know, give him opportunities to make him feel he's getting somewhere. So you make him expend more energy. Because that's the thing with Leonard. Leonard used to expend a lot of energy going after guys, especially when he thought he got them hurt. So just imagine he clips Floyd, especially in the beginning, and he's trying to throw a whole flurry of punches. But the trick is, if Floyd clinches him up, because it's a specific way Floyd clinch you up, he's not going to get out the clinch, right? So it's just those kinds of things you have to think about in boxing, and why I say that, you know, it's kind of notoriously difficult to beat a guy like Floyd, or even Pernell Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker's a notoriously difficult guy to beat. You know, they had to cheat him. They had to cheat him. They had to rob him to get fighters to win, you know. Maybe Leonard would win against a fight with Floyd if he remained standing on the scorecards, because people loved Leonard more than Floyd. So maybe that would be how he would win. But I don't think he'd win anything. I think it'd be like an 8-4, you know, 8-4 kind of fight. Yeah, but Leonard. So anyway, this is what I had to say. I think decision making is what makes Floyd different to the other guys. His ability to adjust, but this decision making, I think, separated him from those other guys. Those other guys could have been, Leonard could have been undefeated. He could have been undefeated. There are two stupid decisions he made. The first one was coming back into boxing and facing Terry Norris, another generational fighter. That was stupid. You was done. Your career was over. You did what you did. You had one loss on your record. You did exceptionally well. You had a draw and a loss. You should just call it a day. He decided to come back into boxing, face Terry Norris, got his ass handed to him. You know, dropped twice, you know. Then he comes back after so many years of being out of boxing to face a guy that been fighting all the time, Hector Camacho. Decision making. You know, Leonard just poor with the decision making, right? Sugar Ray Robinson, same thing. Got his ass beat up because why? Why? Because you just stayed in boxing too fucking long. All right? Get out the fucking sport. No, you just stayed in boxing. You know, just stayed. You know, and Mayweather is smart enough to make the right decisions. He left boxing at the right time, again showing he's making the right decisions, you know. Even Muhammad Ali, stupid, man. You stayed in boxing too fucking long. You're never supposed to be beaten by Leon Spinks. He was never supposed to be beaten by that guy. Yeah, okay, Georgie Benton coached him, but he was never supposed to be beaten by Leon Spinks. You know why you got beat by Leon Spinks? Stay in boxing too fucking long. You got beat by Larry Holmes. He was never supposed to get beat by Larry. You stayed in boxing too long. You know why he got sick and died? Because he stayed in boxing too fucking long. When you stay long and you're old like that, you can get injured really, really bad. Okay, and they've done studies about trauma to the head in boxing. Poor decision making. Okay? So we call Sugar Ray Robinson a legend. Look what he did. He fought all the top guys late in his career. And where did that get him? Didn't he get diabetes and Alzheimer's, they said? He didn't even know who he was. So that was Roger Mayweather. Stayed in boxing too fucking long. Getting hit to the head. Stayed too long. At least Floyd's father, Floyd Mayweather Sr., he didn't stay as long, but he still got damage from boxing. He suffered the effects of damage from boxing. Not as much as Floyd. Not as much as Roger. And Jeff got diabetes too. He got running in their family. Jeff got to watch his ass. You know what I'm saying? So, boxing's a sport that can be debilitating. You know, Bobby Shakan died because he fell down and hit his head. But he before that he had a boxing syndrome as well. Boxing traumatic syndrome or whatever they call it. You know what I'm saying? How many boxers got to go through that? And we got they're heroic for doing this. No, that's poor decision making. So the modern boxer today understands that they need to go get into boxing, get out of it in one piece. You know, especially the elite ones. Taking punishment is not cool, ladies and gentlemen. And Floyd was smart enough to understand it. Roy Jones Jr. stayed in boxing too fucking long. Stayed in boxing too long. He's talking about a slur and shit. Be like, take some oxygen, ninja. Timothy Bradley talking all cuckoo. Talking nonsense because he took punishment from what's his name? The 140-pound champion from Russia. I forgot what his name is. If the one says Roger Mayweather says Junior has way more skills than Sugar Ray Leonard. Yeah, you know, he said he has a better defense than Sugar Ray Leonard for one thing. He also got a much more varied offense. Floyd has the #1 offense and defense, in my opinion. He makes adjustments better than any fighter I've seen. Yeah, his plus-minus ratios out there. It's off the charts. Floyd has always been more aggressive when he fought boxers. This is true. I mean, yes, but I don't expect him to just fight Sugar Ray Leonard one way. I think he's going to vary it up, mix it up. I think he would frustrate his mind and try and fatigue his mind, as well as he would try and frustrate his body. And I think even before the fight even starts, he would be trying to get in Sugar Ray Leonard's head. He would start with the head games from the get-go. If Sugar Ray Leonard fell prey to Duran's head games, and Duran don't even speak English, Mayweather would be like, nah, this guy's weak brain, man. This guy's weak-minded. I'm going to get in his head. I'm going to fuck him up in his head. You know? Because Oscar De La Hoya was a good boxer. And Floyd made Oscar come to him. You know? Because he got in Oscar's head. You know what I mean? Now, Cotto, and this is why everybody thinks that Leonard would do well. Cotto made Floyd fight, right? However, I don't see Sugar Ray Leonard being, Ruslan Provodnikov, that's the guy. Timothy Bradley, stupid decision. He wanted to fight, but he could have made that fight super easy if he had boxed Ruslan. He decided to fight Ruslan, you know what I'm saying? And he almost got killed, right? Stupid ass fighter. And so these poor decisions that these fighters do, and everybody's like, oh, it was a great fight, huh? I'm like, yeah, but it was a stupid ass fight. And even Timothy Bradley to this day says that was a stupid ass fight. It made him famous, but it cost him as well, right? Cost him years on his boxing career, 1. 2, cost him years on his life. Up to this day, Timothy Bradley be talking a load of shit, and we just chalk it up to the Ruslan beatings. You know what I mean? Every now and then, Timothy Bradley say a load of shit and be like, oh, okay, that was Ruslan pound that bit of sense out of him. Yeah, okay. You know, I'm just saying that, yes, the life of a fighter is a tough one. You know, I even think of Chris Algieri right now. He's not boxing. You know why? He took a lot of punishment from Errol Spence. Motherfucker ain't just gonna go back into the sport just like that. He gotta heal up. Make sure everything's working right, including the brain, before you go back in and take some more punishment. You know what I mean? Because it's punishment you're gonna be taking. Whether it's in sparring or what, you're taking punishment. You know? So, like I said, decision making. You saw the Floyd, you know, I remember Roy Jones Jr. saying he don't give Floyd the best ever, but he give Floyd the smartest boxer out there. And I look at Roy and I say, but what do you think the best ever is? You think the best ever? Even Mike Tyson said it's the most intelligent fighter that wins the fight. It's not the dude, you know, it's not the dumbass dude who wanted to bang, you know what I mean? You know, be king of the, Floyd said, I want to be king of the mountain. Yeah, but he can be king of the mountain by being smart. You know what I mean? The thing with, you know what Floyd did? And I think Canelo takes this to heart. Is Floyd showed you don't got to be a macho man and be all macho up in things and just be going toe to toe with people because you want to prove something. You know, that's what Floyd did. You know, Sugar Ray Leonard had some great fights, but there were certain times where he was going toe to toe and I was like, that's fucking stupid. You gonna go toe to toe with Donnie Lalonde? Like really, Ninja? And you don't expect to get knocked the fuck down? Like really? Right? There's just, I mean, you make, like Leonard made certain fights just tougher than they should have been. You know, and with all that skill and ability, he should have been able to box circles around Donnie Lalonde. No, he decided, I'm going to go toe to toe with Donnie Lalonde. I was like, motherfucker, you stupid. That's stupid. Box smarter, not harder. And it's what Floyd did. They didn't like him for that. They said, well, what about the fans? Floyd's like, okay, where will the fans be when I'm broke? Where will the fans be? Where are the fans? For all the fighters I saw that they said were great fighters, the fans weren't there for Muhammad Ali when he was sick. They weren't giving him money and shit. The fans wasn't there for Mike Tyson when he was in prison. The fans, well, they loved him when he was fighting in the ring, but then all that shit he had to pay out of his own pocket. The IRS, they wasn't paying the IRS bills for him. So fuck the fans on that room. I'll give them entertainment, but I'm giving them in a smart way. Let them appreciate the sweet science of boxing. You know? And I think a lot of people don't respect that. So they call him a runner, and they call him this, and this fighter will beat him and that. But they always using his name, right? They always using his name. Oh, Floyd wouldn't be beat by this guy. No, he's not the top, top 5 greatest fighters of the world. Okay, he's not the top greatest fighter in your book, no problem. But the one thing I'm going to tell you is he is the best fighter. He's the best fighter. You can call him boring or shit. You know in your heart, if there was to be a real fight right now with Sugar Ray Robinson, if Sugar Ray Robinson get up from the dead, get out here, you know, and fight Floyd at welterweight, or what they called middleweight, which would be still welterweight, Floyd would more than likely beat his ass. They know this. Because they said, oh, Canelo gonna wipe the floor with your ass. Then when Canelo signs the contract to face Floyd, well, you know, I mean, and people second guessing now. You know, Floyd. Because Floyd said, okay, he can beat my ass. Okay, let's get him in the fucking ring. Let's see. Right? And all of a sudden, everybody's tune changed. Because the fight was on. They were like, you know, I think Floyd will win. That's how these motherfuckers are out here. All of them, the historians, all these motherfuckers out here. Oh yeah. Sugar Ray Leonard would beat Floyd's ass. That's because he don't have to face Floyd. The moment Sugar Ray Leonard, the fight would have been arranged, and Sugar Ray Leonard would have to face Floyd, the tune of everybody would change. Even the fucking bookies would change their tune. Oh, it was more than likely Floyd would win this fight. That's what they would say. Because they punking the man. Okay? And all of those out there, hating ass motherfuckers, who be punking the dude, you can't tell me why Sugar Ray Leonard would beat Floyd. Oh, he's a great fighter. Sugar Ray Leonard would fight his ass off. And that means what? This sport is called boxing. First, you got to tell me how you're going to hit Floyd. Well, he hit his father. I'm like, his father's nowhere in the league of Floyd. I'm sorry. He taught him everything he knew. Great for him. But little ass Floyd was whooping his ass while he was a child. So give me something better than that. You know what I'm saying? Because if Leonard had difficulty with Senior, and Senior only made it 10 rounds with him, how the hell he gonna deal with Junior? What, you think Junior's worse than Senior? Yeah, they got something of the similar style. But Junior just different. He's just different to his father. I mean, so I'm just saying, I don't understand why people have a problem. I mean, even Sugar Ray Leonard shouldn't have a problem if somebody believed that Floyd would beat him. His own brother-in-law believed that Floyd would have beaten him, right? Nothing wrong with that. Everybody got opinions, right? But you could see that some of the people in the business and even the establishment. Now, don't get me wrong. Just because I say that Floyd would beat Sugar Ray Leonard don't mean Sugar Ray Leonard was chump change. I'm just saying he had a lot of skills and abilities. I'm only saying it based on what I see with the fighters in the ring and their mindset to the boxing. Sugar Ray Leonard was a great showman. Great showman. Fantastic showman. Enjoyed him. You know. But he ain't beating Roy Jones Jr. at 168 or 160. He's not beating him. I think Roy started off at 154, but he really got his first title at 160. He's not beating Roy Jones Jr. He's just not. He's just not. He's not. You know? Let me think about that. Because Roy didn't have no inside game. But Roy was fast as fuck in serpentine. You see, it's that he catches you at a moment you don't expect. That's the thing. That's the thing. He catch you at a moment you don't expect. So I got Roy beating Sugar Ray Leonard. I got Roy beating him. And Leonard had good defense. He had solid defense. But Roy was so fast, he was going to punch holes into that defense. And as Leonard got up in weight, he wasn't as fast as when he was at welterweight. Because Leonard started at super lightweight. And Leonard wasn't even a guy who was really a 160 pounder or 168 pounder. So he was going to be smaller than Roy. It'd have been like Roy versus Vinny Pazienza. Something like that. Because Leonard had good jab. He had good reach. Roy had longer reach. He was taller than, he was bigger than Leonard. That would not be a nice situation. Because Leonard topped out at 160, 168. Now, Hagler was slower than Leonard. So Leonard was able to do what he wanted to do with Hagler. Fucking Roy is faster than him because his foot and hand speed is just ridiculous, right? Roy's a better athlete than Sugar Ray Leonard, so I don't think he beats Roy. I don't think he beats Roy. The key would be to get to the inside of Roy to beat him. That would be the key. Leonard would have to do like what he did to Hearns, but Roy is much more athletic, much more skilled than Hearns on the outside. And if Leonard don't pay attention, Roy will catch him napping with a left hook, because Roy used to catch you with that left hook. You know, Hearns didn't do that kind of shit. He didn't ambush you and hit you with the left hook. You know what I'm saying? Out of clear blue sky, boom! Captain Hook hit him again. Captain Hook strikes again. You know, Roy was that kind of fighter. So, you know, and then untelegraphed punches. Untelegraphed punches. The first time I actually saw it, I fell in love with the way how Roy would throw an untelegraphed jab. And he feint you with the jab. Then immediately after feinting the jab, you know, on the offbeat, he catch you with the jab after. He feint the jab, got you kind of reaching or got you flinching or whatever, and he catch you with, and then he hit you with the untelegraphed jab. You know what I mean? He had ways of feinting you different ways, making you do one thing and then you come with another. That's the key, ambush fighting. And I didn't really see ambush fighters. You know, all those other guys were straight up and down. Like Aaron Pryor, great angles and all that shit, but he wasn't an ambush fighter. You know, there's a difference. Pacquiao's an ambush fighter in a different kind of way. But Floyd and Roy, they use timing. They use a certain rhythm. They just change up their rhythm on you. You know, Lomachenko, one speed kind of one-hit wonder. He's still not like Roy and Floyd. Like, they different. You know, James Toney was beautiful. He would get the angles on you and hit you with certain combinations of punches. But again, not an ambush fighter. You know, Roy and Floyd were ambush fighters. They gonna hit you when you least expect it. That's when they going to start doing that thing. You know, it wasn't just that they were pot shotters. No, it wasn't just that they were pot shotters. They were special. They were ambush fighters. You know, very serpentine, and that's what made them so good. But they didn't sit on that. They kept on working on their craft. But Roy made some really poor decisions. One of them was coming down from heavyweight to face Antonio Tarver. And rematching Antonio Tarver. Again, this machismo bullshit. You know, not allowing yourself enough time to really adjust back to the weight class that you came back down to. So he decided, immediate rematch. I'm like, motherfucker, what are you doing this for? And he, boom, Antonio Tarver knocked his ass out. You know what I'm saying? Poor decision making. You know? It is what it is. Antonio Tarver got good defense, though. Tony would have had a better career if he'd kept his weight down. That's another thing. The problem with James Toney was his work ethic. He didn't like training. He didn't like sacrificing to make the right moves and steps. So, again, a lot of these guys, when they reached the top tier, they sort of slacked off. You know what I mean? Decision making. Floyd never, wasn't committed to boxing a single day when he was in his career. Now he slacked off and stuff because he know how to do. His career is basically done, so he slacked off. But Floyd kept it 100 throughout his entire career. And again, the right decision making. You commit yourself to being the best, and that commitment went all the way through to the end of his career. I gotta give him his props. Always ready, always in shape. Always ready for whatever fighter in opposition he had. He expected the unexpected. He catered for as much possible situations as he could, and then he adjusted to whatever else he had to deal with. But these other guys, man, all of them had poor decision making at some point, and that's what cost them. That's what cost them. There are guys that were quicker than Floyd. There are guys that are faster than Floyd, taller than Floyd, bigger than Floyd, stronger than Floyd, punch harder than Floyd. He beat all of them because he was prepared. One, and two, he had certain gifting that he was born with. And three, because he worked on his craft. He honed his skills. He wasn't settled with just preparing for a fight. No, he honed his skills while he wasn't fighting. And now these younger boxers today can learn from that. And they're always, in the gym, they're always keeping themselves in shape. That's what you got to do, not balloon up in weight and all that shit. And then another thing with Floyd that was very interesting, I wanted to talk about, which these younger fighters are doing, very strategic and very intentional. And back in the day when you had strategic fighters, what they call counter punches, these guys really didn't like trading and fighting because they couldn't trade and fight when it came down to it. Floyd's different. He can trade, he can fight. He just chooses to be this pot shot or this counter puncher, throwing 1 or 2 punches at a time. You look at Canelo, following in Floyd's footsteps now. Talk about pot shotting 1 or 2 punches at a time. You're not really trying to throw a whole bunch of combinations. Systematically walking his fighter down or boxing the fighter off the back foot. Canelo took a page out of Floyd's book. And he won't acknowledge it, but it's glaringly obvious. He's a big fan of Floyd. Glaringly obvious. So my point anyway is that strategic chess player, not checkers player. So you stick with the game plan, but the outcome of the end point of the game plan is to win. Not necessarily to get the knockout, but if the knockout presents itself, great. And therefore, because he's so strategic, you get the knockouts when they come. Because, like with Canelo, when he knocked out Sergey Kovalev, and you look at War versus Kovalev, a totally different fight to Canelo versus Kovalev. The reason why that is so, Canelo worked in a very systematic way. He didn't just try to put his earmuffs on and rush to the inside. Because Canelo, he don't have the fastest feet in the world. He's explosive, but he don't have the fastest feet. So he had to figure out a systematic way to wear down his opponent as well as get to the inside of his opponent. And when the opportunity came, he light him up with body shots and headshots. But the thing with Canelo, trying to emphasize it again, if Canelo would even relax a little bit more and not so much try to go for the bang with his shots, I think he'd get more KOs, because I think you got to get that timing of the shot hitting the body. It's not about how putting a whole set of oomph into your shot and going, ugh! It's not that. You gotta, Floyd does it. That's why Floyd don't have to throw a lot of punches to get a fighter to respect him. And he can break down a fighter with less punches than Canelo would. Because Floyd, he throws the punch relaxed and with a certain timing behind it. So that there's a kind of a delay before you hit impact. And so he really saying, this is what I says. Floyd is probably the most honest pugilist of all time. Floyd was told the fans the truth if they liked it or not. Great show tonight. Thanks, Lifted One. Shout out to everybody. I'm sorry about that. What happened was my phone battery died, so I had to stop the feed. But I'm what you need. You're watching my channel. If you guys enjoyed this video, I'm putting my phone to charge right now. That's why I'm looking over my phone like that. But I'm what you need. You were watching my channel. If you like this video, subscribe, share, like, comment. Also, you can donate via Western Union and MoneyGram. I'm going to catch you guys later. Peace.